All right, so basically, I have been asked to do a video review on Tom Macdonald for maybe 6 months now, and I've avoided it because I noticed that there's been a lot of what would you call it, cultish behavior surrounding his music, and for the most part, I'm just not really keen on talking about things that people have already made up their minds about to the point where no matter what criticism you offer to it, even if it's legitimate, people will still argue and bicker, and you really actually will get nowhere. But this guy, Tom Macdonald, is someone who's been making a lot of headway and a lot of noise, basically surrounding his message. And I've heard a few of his songs, and I'm not going to give you my opinion on them at the moment, but I'm going to play this video, Dummies, that he just released, and I'm going to give you my honest feedback about the music and about his message and see where it goes.
1 in a million to one villain. Too hot to be in the kitchen, I'll end up melting the ceiling.
All right, so before I get into this video, I want to just point out that when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I am going to take the one chip challenge on a live stream. So I definitely recommend, if you have not subscribed today and you enjoy the content, please subscribe. That's all I ask. It takes nothing but a second, and we'll get there to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for listening. Now, what you all came here for is Tom Macdonald. This video is called Dummies, and I'm going to play it and give my honest opinion about it. So let's do it.
I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everything is sexist, homophobic, or it's racist.
All right, jumping straight into it. All right, from the sound of the music, right off the bat, I don't like it. Also, I noticed that he went from he loved the earth, but he doesn't want to save it. And then he jumped to everything is homophobic and racist. Don't see how those things have anything in common, but I'm guessing that this guy is very keen on jumping straight into the mud and attacking all of the, major issues that we're discussing today, and which is a good thing. We need somebody discussing these issues.
When life gives us lemons, we're supposed to want to change it, but my generation rather take some pills than escape it. Say that I'm transphobic if you wanna, but one day I'll be a father, and I really hope my son don't grow up to be my daughter. I ain't trying to hurt your feelings, skin should be a little thicker. That's the problem, being honest got them triggered. The kids are getting weaker because they're sheltered by...
All right, so this guy is apparently definitely going after the woke culture. I appreciate that. I'm going to be 100% with you. I like the fact that he's willing to say what's on his mind, regardless of the consequences or regardless of who likes it. It's about expressing yourself and being who you are and being comfortable with who you are and what you wish. I see he touched on the trans issues, and he talked about people being triggered, which is a very hot topic. And I just made a video about the LGBTQ community and race. So definitely go check that out. But definitely liking the fact that this guy is comfortable doing what he's doing, even though personally I don't like his flow. I don't think the guy has a very pleasing sound to the ears. But other than that, so far, I'm enjoying this.
Society, pumpkin spice Ativan for seasonal anxiety. Wokeness has become a way to bully non-violently and cancel everyone without improving on the life we lead. Without the...
All right, so went after wokeness and saying that it criticizes people, and I agree with him. Definitely agree with him on this, because we live in a society where now being woke, staying woke means that you criticize anybody who dissents from the popular opinion, definitely on the people on the left. And it's clear that this guy, I don't know if he's a conservative or what. Apparently he's from Canada, so I don't think his voice actually matters when it comes to in the States, but definitely going after the liberal woke ideology, which, like I said once before, I appreciate.
White, there's no black. Without the straight, there's no gay. Without the men, there's no women. Without the night, there's no day. Without the...
Well, that's not true. You can have one color without the other color. Do you realize that most of us come from common ancestors, and the reason that we have different shades of color is because of the sunlight and our exposure to it and being able to adapt to certain environments. But I understand what he's saying, that, you need both sides. You need, somebody on the opposite end of you in order to keep the other side in check. The left needs the right needs the left, conservatives need liberals, liberals need conservatives, and so forth and so on. But now we live in a culture where one side wants to completely squash the other side and don't want to have any dialogue. And I really think that's what he's hinting to. So if I'm being a little picky, that's fine. But, I agree with him.
idiots, we couldn't laugh at them when they fall. So maybe we need them after all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all.
The hook is irritating. I'm going to just say it. The hook is irritating. I don't like the sound of the song at all. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. Now, earlier I said in the video that, you know, I've heard a few of his songs and I don't necessarily like his sound, but that's fine. Some people will enjoy it. Other people won't. Just because you might be an Eminem fan doesn't mean that you like Tom Macdonald, or if you like Tom Macdonald, you might not like Eminem. And some people might not like hip hop at all, but they're gravitating towards Tom Macdonald because he has a message that they resonate with. And two times more than often, we find in music, a lot of people gravitate towards people they agree with and actually sharing a message that they can resonate with. And that's perfectly fine. But I personally don't like the sound of Tom Macdonald.
I guess you love to be wrong, or you don't have the guts of the balls.
Now, very colorful. I do get the Tekashi 6ix9ine vibe from this guy. A lot of colors, a lot of you know, art going on in the background that's supposed to represent what the subject of the video is about. From what I understand, most of his videos or most of his music is centered around some of the same messages. So what he's really doing is repackaging some of the same talking points or some of the same messages and just re-delivering it to you in a different way on a different beat.
I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Everyone's obsessed with making stupid people famous. If a white boy raps, then it's called appropriation. But Beyonce does a hair blonde and people say she slayed it. Everybody's
true. Now, take a little second to point out that cultural appropriation is a BS term. The reason that it is BS is because we live in a society, in a country where we're supposed to take the best of each culture or each people and integrate it into a society that uplifts everyone. But we somehow convince ourselves that if a person decides to do something that majority of Black people do, that they're somehow stealing their culture. Whereas if Black people do something majority of what white people do, then that's somehow perfectly fine. Or I've even heard the argument that it's okay for Black people to take what white people do because overall, Black people have been subjugated and enslaved by white people in the past, and most of everything that we do in society is replicated by that whole platform. Now, I don't necessarily agree with it. I believe that no matter what you do in society, if you find a culture or a people or a race doing something that will actually help you out or, you know, allow you to express yourself, you should be able to actually practice that behavior without it being considered stolen or cultural appropriation.
Outraged, everybody's mad. Our solutions to the issues don't make no sense. The stairs are the problem, we build wheelchair ramps. We don't cancel feet or persecute the people with legs. The feminists who started the movement would be ashamed of so many things. They fought so you can vote. I show your butthole on OnlyFans. I'm not a bad
You know, I made a video about OnlyFans not too long ago, and it's perfectly fine. I don't agree with the whole OnlyFans thing. I don't agree with women, you know, exposing their bodies and using their body parts as a way to, you know, garner attention or money. So I'm just going to point that out, but let's continue the video.
Person because you don't like what I say. Call me homophobic just because I think straight. I love people even though we disagree. I wish we could get Wi-Fi signals from a tree. Then everyone would plant them and we'd probably save the planet for free. Too bad we only need them to breathe.
That's true.
Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Hey, I guess you love to be wrong. Or you don't have the guts of the balls. Dum 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 diddy dum 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 diddy dum. I love the earth, but I don't really want to save it. Classifying people by their sex and race degrades them, but we still stay straight white males.
Ooh, all right. So I kind of let it play for a little bit. I didn't want to keep interrupting it, but I'm going to say this. There's definitely something to this. This guy is confident in his message, which I appreciate. Not only is he confident, he's bold, willing to say things that is not popular and a lot of things that majority of people actually agree with, but yet people aren't willing to actually speak out and express it. Now, he got a few bars here, some metaphors that I am definitely aligned with, things that I think he's great at. I wouldn't consider him a lyricist of that sort. I wouldn't consider him to be somebody who has punchline after punchline after punchline, but his argument is his audience is not focused on that. His audience is focused on him speaking his truth and allowing, you know, his words to express what they feel. And it's working for him. It's definitely working for him. The visuals of the video is awesome. It represents, you know, dummies, and you see him standing there with the dummies, and he talks about, you know, being a white, straight, heterosexual male and how that's demonized and attacked. But yet, you know, we're supposed to talk about diversity, and, you know, that means in all different situations. And, you know, it's really something I'm jamming with. And I can see the appeal. I can see why people are excited about this young guy and actually listening to his music.
The worst of our population gets the labels are okay if they're Caucasian. Our kids are living in their rooms. I swear we barely ever see them. Go outside sometime. There's fresh air you could be breathing. Put your phones down. Play sports. Do something illegal. Go and meet your family.
Yeah, put your phones down. I can't tell you how often I see people sitting right there in front of each other at dinner or something, and they're both in their phones and not actually communicating with each other. Kudos to Tom Macdonald for pointing something like that out. Definitely jamming with it, definitely appreciating it. And go outside, you know, play. Young kids are healthy when they go out and they actually do exercise. And now we've coddled the mind of young children, and we've kept them isolated on the inside, not making real human connections, not going outside, breathing fresh air. And it's definitely something that needs to be addressed in society. And thank you, Tom Macdonald, for pointing that out.
Families, they're probably nice people. These days, you're a Nazi if you don't hate the police. They say that white folks think all Asian people are Chinese. I'm sorry. What kind of white people you mean? English, Scottish, German, Swedish, or Greek?
I made a video about that as well. We always lump up white people as being this monolithic culture or society when it's not the case. If you go to Europe, there are so many different countries and different cultures, even within those countries. And to boil white people down to anybody who shares the same skin color just isn't true. At one point, Irish people wasn't considered to be white. Jewish people wasn't considered to be white. And yet we've come to this point where we're just lumping everybody who looks a certain way into being white, and it doesn't necessarily translate. Thank you, Tom Macdonald, once again.
Black Lives Matter was problematic. It excludes anyone without the pigment. It's automatic. I understand all the reasons it happened, but including all humans is the actual answer.
All right, so somebody will put that rebuttal is that it's basically an all lives matter rebuttal, and I've heard the criticisms of all lives matter and Black Lives Matter. I'm not a fan of Black Lives Matter, and I'm really honestly never really cared for the all lives matter situation. I think race in America is being hyper focused on to the point where it's no longer functional. We have to look at each individual by case situation and judge it based on that. I'm all about people in general getting the needs that they have that need to be met versus joining a collective and just painting everybody as part of this group versus that group. And I understand what he's saying. I do. And, you know, I'll leave it there.
Oh, no.
Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Ain't nobody dumber than y'all. Hey, yo! I guess you love to be wrong. You don't have to touch the balls. Hey, yo! Dum 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 diddy dum 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 dum.
All right. That's pretty much that video. If you want to watch the full video, I put it in the description below. So I definitely recommend that you go check that out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that I've been too harsh on him? Do you think that I let him off easy? What do you think about Tom Macdonald? Is this your first time hearing him? Do you like his sound? Because personally, it's not my favorite, and it's not. I would never go back and listen to that song again. But or are you listening for the messages? Because plenty of people have reached out to me and wanted me to do a review of one of his videos. So there you go. You have it. Now, once again, before you leave, like I said, if I reach 1,000 subscribers, I will take this one chip challenge. So I highly recommend that you go ahead and subscribe today. I got great content coming up, and I don't want y'all to miss out on it. If you hit the bell, you get notified of all future videos. Now, that's all that's left to be said. Thank y'all so much for watching. And as always, peace and glory. be peaceful, and be great. I'm out.
1 in a million to one villain. Too hot to be in the kitchen, out in the melting the ceiling.